Hey guys, today you find me in my creative test world as I'm about to be doing something that I haven't done for a long time, which is build up a random shape into something fun. So I did this a few times before with a couple of random shapes, this one here, this one didn't turn out too great, and this one, and I wanted to come back to it and a bit bigger. So I built a hotdog shape, and I'm going to try my best to make something out of it. So let's start. By the way, I have this really weird thing on my creative test world, and only on my creative test world. I don't have any texture packs on, but the grass and mycelium, like the path and the mycelium, look like this, and I have no idea why, except for the fact, except well, that's not really an answer to why, but this mycelium, I actually prefer it to normal mycelium because it looks so great on roofs, but I can't, like, this is my test world, so it doesn't really matter if I put it on a roof right here, because I'm never, in a normal survival world, going to do something with it. Not that I'm going to be doing something with this hotdog in a normal survival world, I just thought it would be a fun challenge. Perhaps I could use the mycelium, but I don't know. I gotta find out what I want to do with this build. And I thought perhaps I could raise this up a bit and then turn this into a house first. I think what may be a fun idea is if we, I don't know, but like individual houses and then have this part right here be a bridge that connects them. The only rule we got with building is that in the end, from the top down, it still has to look like that same hotdog as from the beginning. And you can basically do this with every shape you want, so it's a really fun challenge. And this is going to be a really sleek building, but we'll have to deal with it. I don't know if I will go with the oak though. For my other versions, I went with a pretty simple color palette, but I don't know. We'll find out. I'm kind of drawn to the bricks though. Again, I think we'll use bricks in the roof. But for now, I'll just ignore the roof. I'm going to build this structure really quick, and then I'm going to figure out how we can do the bridges. And if that even looks good. And then we'll have like a series of buildings in the middle. And something like a fortress around it, perhaps. We could have like some sort of castle, I don't know. Anyway, I'm just going to be building this up really quick. This one's an even number, so that's going to be giving me some trouble, definitely, but we'll find a way around. Alright, and now I'm going to have to figure out the bridges. And I think what I will do is I will get some stairs, and I'll get some spruce to match the log color. Oh, hold on, no, I can't do that, can I? Because then you can't really walk under it anymore. And then what's the point of having a bridge? So I'm going to have it here. And that's not going to make it look so great. I think actually, no, that height could be good. And we could also heighten the stone layer a bit, so that's fine. Alright, of course, this is not how the houses are going to look in the end. They're not going to look like this thing right here. They're actually going to be decorated and stuff. Just not right now. I gotta figure out if this looks good or not. And let's just do these three first houses, and then perhaps we can do a bit of a different thing for over there to make it a bit interesting. I've just realized. Hold on. There we go. Those were the game sounds on, and those don't let. Sometimes I find them just annoying in the video, so I find that I liked it more to have them turned down. The archways don't look too great, but that's because we are working with the two white spaces. Oh no, now we're going. Actually, I think I've got an idea to solve this. What if we were to put some trapdoors down? I don't think we'll have a bunch of interior room for these buildings anyway, so just do that, and then some blocks at the top. Yeah, that looks fine, I think. And then you just won't be able to walk through. Yeah, that could look very interesting. I wouldn't know why there will be bridges in between, but you know, I think next up we can work at the roofs. I want to use bricks in them because I like roofs with bricks. I think. So do I just? I don't think a stair pattern will look good. Not on this building anyway. Oh, okay. I think slabs. What I don't want to do is create an overhang like this, because then I'll ruin the original shape, and I don't want that. So it's going to be hard to work with this. But we'll figure it out. That looks like I just don't know how to build. Oh, I could do... No, that doesn't make it look any better anyway. No, I'm not going to mess with the shape. Okay, hold on. Let's see if we can do like one more house. We'll give it a bit of a roof like this. See if that looks good or not. Because we won't be able to put a whole bunch of detail into those houses. Because they're really, really small. I didn't really give myself a bunch of playing room. I see that just doesn't look right at all. I think if I just want the archways to look like this, and then we can go from there. So we got archways like that. That means we do have to use stairs here. How bad would it look if we just did a little bit of this? Hold on. Actually, that made it look better, I think. Yeah, I'm going to roll with that. And I'm not going to texture for now, actually, because I want to have the layout planned first, and then we can make it look nice. So now I have this area to worry about, which is just going to be the same. It's that. And now we have to figure this one out. Actually, this is just the same building as this one, really, so we can just do an exact copy. And then I want to figure out what I want to do for these. Because I want to do something different, otherwise it won't be interesting. That looks so horrible. Okay, but I guess this is going to be also building. Alright, so I was gone for a little bit. I had to go, sorry. But I didn't do really much in the meantime. I only placed down some stairs to make this roof different than this, and I put these planks here. First of all, just double slabs of bricks, but this makes it more like the bricks are like shingles, so that's fine. And I built this small little front building and an entrance way into the whole thing. I don't like how thick this is, but we have to roll with it because of the shape. But I actually think we can solve this because we can just make this smaller. And I need to place those back. There we go, and then we can add something over here. I'm just going to place logs for now until I can think of what I can put here. But that at least makes sure that... You know what, hold on. I want to change it over here as well. Oh, just hold that. Hold on. There we go, that looks better. Because I actually thought of what this place is. And I realized that we have these houses which can only enter through via each other with the use of these bridges here. But hold on. No, hold on. That's not the original shape. We have to put the stair over here. Hold on. That's wrong. Sorry guys, hold on. Really gotta fix this error. There we go. So, the only way you can access these houses is by just going through this easily destructible small front building, up the stairs into this building, and if you want to go into the other one you can use the bridge, and then if you want to go into the other one you can use the bridge again. So it's actually really secure with like these stone bases as well. Like, it would be kind of hard to come. I'm almost thinking of it like an outpost of a zombie apocalypse. Perhaps it's because I'm reading a book about zombies right now, but I it really got in my head, and I realized that this is a very defensible way to set up your houses, so that even though zombies may break into whatever this is, you're still kind of protected. Like, I don't think the zombies can climb up these walls here. They could break into this building, but you could just destroy that, and they can't get up anymore. So yeah, that seems quite safe. So with that in mind, I'm going to make this an abandoned prison. These two things over here are going to be like parts of the prison that are like destroyed, but the outer wall are still sort of put up. And over here I'm just going to have like a wooden sort of barricade that makes sure that no zombies come in. And that's kind of the idea, that in the middle we'll have these houses, which I still have to make looking a bit better, but that's for later concern. So we gotta think of how we can build a prison up now. And I'm just going to try something here. I don't know if it'll look nice or not. Perhaps I can use slabs, hold on. Sorry, my voice is a bit Alright, that looks good. that looks like the correct height for a prison wall, so I'm just going to go with that. What if I want to do this? Because then if this side is like more destroyed, then on the outside I'm going to be placing these in, so I know I can place stuff there. On the outside there can be like a wall, defensive wall, you know? Alright. I got my nose. I've got, how do you call that in English? I've no idea how I call that in English, but like I'm really allergic to pollen, and my nose is starting to show that. I think we'll just, I know the wall is like flat stone right now, but I first kind of want to get the layout of the prison in. So we've got 3 blocks here, and then we can have like a thing here. Yeah, that could be the roof. So we would then have a sort of second floor up here. I'll be right back. Sorry guys, sorry I had to blow my nose for a minute. Now I gotta figure out how to place in the floor. So that looks all jumbled and cracked up. Right, that's quite nice. We still need some supports, but we can make those. So I'd say right over here. And then we would have like a little tiny prison cell behind it, so we could have iron bars. Just over here. Still, this is not the phase where everything's going to look great, but we have to first get sort of a layout done, because this build is going to be quite tricky, I feel like. And then a pillar. I hate placing iron bars. It's so annoying. Hold on. I destroyed the grass, so we're going to have to replace that with something else anyway. I'm thinking gold's dirt as of right now, but we'll see. We have to get some sort of prison door in, and I think an iron door will just look strange. Oh god, I broke more glass. So instead, what I may do is build like something like this. Remove that. Does that look like a door? No, it does look like a door. Actually, hold on, if you make the door like this. No, that doesn't work because then it connects over here. And we don't want it to connect. Yeah, that looks better. And then we'd have another door here. What's this space? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that? We made it exactly right. Okay, that's very satisfying. Alright. So now what I'm going to do is just a bit of placing in some remains of iron bars, and then over here should still have like a separator going. So the prisoners can't speak to each other. The separator has also kind of been breached. And of this layer, there's not going to be a whole lot remaining. So we're just going to have a few bars sitting like that. Just all over the place. And now I need to get some sort of prison windows in place. So the prisoners could look outside. And don't mention these windows will be too big. Just something like this. Yeah, okay. God. Perhaps one of the windows could be missing. That could be a fun detail. Oh, I built them exactly right as well. Except these two. Should I change these two? Yeah, I should. It seemed like it was an organized prison back in the day. So we should change it. Like that. I'm going to replace these two as well, just for symmetry purposes. Alright. And that is our prison cell. Or our prison cell complex, really. And now I gotta, I think, just get some coarse dirt in place. Or some mud. And also I think some gravel around it. Let's just start with coarse dirt and then pepper in some gravel. Because grass doesn't seem like it would be growing here. Of course there would be a lot of prisoner litter that would kind of obstruct the grass from growing here. Or perhaps we would just fuel any plant life that would, I don't know. I never really built an abandoned prison before, so I have no idea what to do actually. I don't think I want to make the other side of the complex a prisoner cell complex as well. I think I want to make that like a warden's room or something like that. Or a visitor center, perhaps both, because I don't think a warden room will fit up the entire area. Alright, so that's all the coarse dirt in place. I'm going to make it a bit less of a hard line with the grass later, but that's not for now. For now, I just want to focus on getting the shape right of everything in the layout. I still don't know what to put here, but I'm now going to work on this part right here. So, now let's make the other side. As I said, this is probably going to be like a warden's office or something like that. And then a little visitors center. How high is this? Hold on. It comes just above the slabbed roof. Alright. So this is kind of the height that we need to be at over here. Okay. Oh. Hey, come on. Place. This side is going to be just much the same of what we already did on the other side. So I hope it won't be too boring for you guys. Oh god, someone's coming downstairs. Hold on. Alright, so I think this time around, before I'm going to make the floor look all destroyed, I want to first get the warden's room into place, and then I want to make it like this side over here. So I would imagine the room having a bit of a entrance right here, perhaps a bit of a like peek through window here, a bit of a larger window on this side, and then I think we can use dark oak for a desk, the warden. And the desk is kind of on the edge right here, so I'm already playing with the idea of having the desk fallen down. You can have the warden sitting right here, and you can have like two chairs like this for people who want to talk with the warden. I'm not going to go too detailed. I just thought of making a computer, and then I thought if there would be a computer over here, it would have already been stolen by the survivors over here, so that's how I'm going to keep it for now. That's going to be the warden's room. You can have like a little hallway. And now I don't think we should do a visiting complex. I think the visiting complex should be down there, because it would be quite strange to have the warden's office right next to it. I think that would bring the prisoners a bit of a wrong idea. So instead, this may just be like a guard's room, where guards can hang out with a few lockers and such. How do we make lockers? Boxes. Right, now for the visiting center down below, I think I wanted to have a bit more of a nice floor than the rest of the building, so sort of tiled pattern would be nice. I'm thinking granite. Granite could work well. And then diorite. And then having a little hallway right here. Quite similar to the hallway upstairs, and then this would be the entrance to the visiting center, or the prison. Or I imagine they have them having like metal detectors and such to see if you take a knife with you inside. But the metal detectors can be over there at the place where the building is completely destroyed now, so that's fine. Also, we gotta start thinking, why is the prison cut in half? Because that's quite important. If we want to make it look ruined, we need to know why is even ruined in the first place. Because you don't normally see a prison being cut in half. I think. Hold on. And it's quite a large strip as well. I just got a really cool idea in my head. But I don't think if I can like sell that idea to someone who hasn't seen this video. Because that's also quite important. What if there was, this is a zombie apocalypse, right? And there are zombies, and it's this super giant zombie who just walked over here and he set one of his feet on like the prison and just destroyed it. And that's where the camp is now. So we just made a, yeah, we could do that. We could make like a giant foot-shaped crater over here. And make it look like something big had just stepped on the prison and annihilated it. That could be something. I wouldn't know if we could sell that though. I'll just have to find out. So that's going to be my visiting center. Look, I don't care about the table floating, it's just a detail, okay? I don't care about it whatsoever. So now we get the task of making it look a bit rugged up. And honestly, I have no idea where to start. I guess we could, I don't know, start with the guard room. I think the rug would definitely be gone right now, so just going to get rid of that. This doesn't seem very supported, does it? Perhaps we should make like a pillar over here. Like that. Because otherwise I feel like this place would just fall down. And then we no longer have an aesthetic, so that's bad. This chair is just going to be like on the edge. And then the desk will have fallen down to the ground. Oh, hold on, first we need to decide what goes here. Oh, what should we put here? I think we start with a stone floor. We ought to start with a stone floor. Actually, the guard. Hold on. Back to the guard room. No, there's no space for a window, because otherwise I would have added it. Oh god, this is making noise. And we need a desk. We can just keep that room empty, I don't think it'll be very important now there's something in there. To keep making it upside down. I don't think anyone will see that this is a desk, but hopefully they see the chairs up here, they might. So we still need to figure out what needs to go in this building over here. If it even needs to be a building, we could also just make like a little wall. We could make a little wall over here, and then make it like an infection test zone before you're allowed to enter the building, because otherwise the zombies would be able to get into the building, and we don't want that. Oh. So we'd have a little wall right here. And dark oak could be like the the strong wood that they use for all the defense out there. The weak wood they either use for this little building over here, or which they need to easily destroy, or that big thing. Alright, so now we get to do the outer wall, which is kind of the barricade. And that's the last part before we can detail everything, and then the build is finished. So I'm just going to take on the same styles like that little hut right there. But I think I'm going to make like a little bit more in front. So that it really looks like it's, barricaded. Perhaps I like a bunch of rubble lying behind it, so that they can't throw over the wall. And then there should be some sort of gauge, I think, over here. Or perhaps on the side, because on the front it will look a bit weird with how the shape goes. And I think I want to have something like that they can put over the barricade and they can walk over it. So I'm just going to build up this for now. That looks like quite the donut shape that we want, so I'm just going to go with that. Or the donut, I mean the hot dog. And then we've got the back wall right here, which we also need to do. Alright, and that's the wall done. So now onto the phase where I put in all the detail of the build. Got my game sounds turned on. And just gotta replace it with coarse dirt, and I think that would be pretty boring, so I'll do that off camera. And you'll see it back in like the final look. But for now I think it's best if we just get out a whole bunch of stuff over here and start making this look like truly a hastily thrown up barricade. I'm just really just going to place down a whole bunch of things in front of here. A bunch of stairs and slabs. That looks very much like it. And then we of course need a way to enter the building. So I'm thinking perhaps a tunnel would be quite good. Because like we could have like a little tunnel over here. No, I think I want to have some sort of chamber in here where you need to wait a little bit to see if there's a zombie. This place right here looks like the ultimate place for a tunnel. So I think they just have like a little staircase downstairs. And there's bedrock there, but we can perhaps use stone. Yeah. And the houses are pretty small on their own right, so I would imagine some sort of small folk would live here instead of normal humans. So I don't really care if you can't actually go down the stairway. And this would come up somewhere outside, I wouldn't know where. I'm not going to build that either. Just imagine it ends up on somewhere else. I have to fill in the sides with stone as well. So we've got an entrance to the place, and when they enter, they come over here. And I'm going to place down some spruce doors, as these seem like, you know, the texture they got on them, they look like really strong doors. And then we can perhaps, or we could have some sort of bar they could put over here to close it off. I don't know how to make that. I'm not going to do that. Then they just wait in here. Perhaps there is some sort of check-in desk over here. I don't know. There's someone sitting here. Could have them have like a little book or something. There we go. So that would be the check-in area. Now once we come in here, I'm literally just going to put some concrete there because I don't want to build the interior. I don't care. So I wouldn't know what's in here because I didn't build anything that's in here. I'm just going to add some windows in so that I could potentially look outside. I wouldn't really know what to put in here for more detail on these houses because we're really limited in size. So it's kind of hard for me. I'm just going to put these windows in the most janky locations possible because then it looks like though they weren't really built with much care for how it looked, and much more with care for, okay, we gotta build something quick, otherwise zombies are going to come eat us. And I think with that I also want to start texturing a bit of this. You know what, I'll do that in the final look. But what we also want is this thing to look overgrown, because now it looks really boring and empty. So we could texture the walls, which I'm not going to do now because it's boring. And we could put leaves up like this, just around the build, which just look like very thick vines have grown over everything. Of course, still need to get this part of the barricade in. And I think I'm not going to be doing the big foot thing, because the big foot thing will just be, too large, and I wouldn't really know how to incorporate it into the build really well. So just imagine something stepped here and destroyed the prison, so we're not going to be seeing anything back from it. And of course also this place needs fines. But right, I'm going to be just doing like the final details and stuff of the build, and then I'll call you back for a last look on the build. Alright, you guys, I have got the final result, and let's take a look at it right now. So come out of this tunnel like this, and there's this little desk right here where you have to check in. That's a little quarantine to show that you're not a zombie. And you go through the doors into this lovely interior. Look how lovely it looks. There's definitely stuff behind that black concrete though. And oh, I forgot a door. Hold on. Oh no, don't look. There's no interior. Hold on. Actually, there is interior. I just didn't actually show you that grass block was there on purpose. Hold on. Let me. You didn't see nothing. Okay. Actually, you did see nothing because. Oh, look at that. There's more interior. How lovely. So, I've already shown you this. I have textured the roofs just a little bit. I have made the grass all like this because I wanted to go with the idea of the giant's foot. So this is how it looks. The prison has been destroyed by the foot of a giant, and he only has 4 toes, and we're going to ignore that.
There's probably a very large reason for that. I wanted to go with some stone bricks on here, but I decided not to. I quite like the monotone stone feel on here. We've got just a bunch of leaves decorating an otherwise very plain wall. And here as well. It's a bunch of rubble because the barricade has to be... Oh, I've already built that on camera. There's a lot of rubble here as well now to keep the barricade in place against the zombies. And that about sums up the zombie apocalypse outpost that we've built. And I'm really happy. Yeah, you can see the hot dog in there, right? Like with the sausage in the middle and the bread on the side, and then the houses form the little sauce that goes through the middle. Yeah, I think that is a huge success. So, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please consider dropping a like, and if you haven't already, I'd really like you to subscribe. So, just consider that if you enjoyed this video. And if you haven't enjoyed this video, then why are you here? Why are you watching this video? Go watch stuff that you enjoy. Anyway, goodbye.